Так, все создала. Всем привет, ребят. Сегодня Кубок Мира, Индивидуальная гонка. Представление участниц. Сейчас я сюда посмотрю на трансляцию. Включу. Включилась она вообще или нет? Так, вроде да, включилась. Качество вроде нормальное. Женщины раза. Лиза Витоци. Ванесса.
So we just saw then, Patrick, we're seeing it for the first time this year. Look, the skis stacked up, ready to go. They're handed in at least 30 minutes before the start time of the athlete.
Итак, ребят, первая стартует у нас. Жюстин Браза Буше.
But like Justine Breza-Boucher, she will have been handed a pair of skis at the last minute.
Номер один.
And
Франция.
They're fast. The smaller teams are not going to have all that support, so it will be more difficult for them.
So here we go, first individual race of the season, and it's Justine Breza-Boucher who shot clean yesterday in the mixed relay. She played a big role in France's success in that mixed relay, and she's the first to test this individual course here in Östersund. It's, you know, it's not easy, but it's certainly not the hardest course on the track. Now we go with Ingrid Landmark Tandrevold. It's been a long time since the Norwegians got a win in an individual. You have to go all the way back to Nova Mesto in 2013 before the Norwegians got an individual victory. That, of course, was Tora Berger. And I know there are some of you who say, hang on a minute, Eckhoff did it in Canmore. But that was what we call a short individual over the 12.5-kilometre distance. So I've discounted that to make the stat a bit more impressive.
А итак, господин номер 3.
From Pontresina, one of the towns on the route of the Engadin Marathon. That takes place second weekend of March, second Sunday of March. There's lots of racing that goes on now, but that's the second biggest Loppet race in the world. And if you want to do a Loppet race, it's pretty much downhill, so it's the one to choose. And I think it's it's just over 100 days before that one, so I know there are a few people training up for that.
Vanessa Voigt, Германия.
For Germany. No Herman this year.
Четвертый номер.
Olympics individual, Vanessa Voigt. That was super impressive. And then, of course, you know, a 12th place in the overall standings at the end of the year. That's good, but the German public expect to be in single figures, without a doubt. And
новые формы
visits to
многих стран.
this year.
Комбинезоны.
Tamara Steiner from Ramsau. Oh my goodness! Just looking at where
Tamara
these
Steiner
athletes all live, Ian, it makes you jealous.
I know. Yeah, we've already mentioned places that we spend such fabulous times in Pontresina and Ramsau, Dachstein, and so on. And you know, we're fortunate. You and I, we live in lovely places in the UK.
Я думаю, что займет Лиза Витоци. Полона Клементич, 6-й номер, Словения.
Shot 1-1 yesterday, and the Slovenians actually doing really well. 4th in the single mixed relay. I think they'll be happy with that, and I think there could be some special results from them this year. Well, good crowd. Not just in numbers. I mean, this is really impressive. And I think Sweden's success in the single mixed relay has helped a little to get them in. As we see Anna Magnusson.
Of course, they're competing. The biathlon's competing with the cross country across the border in Finland. So all of the biathlon fans are also cross country fans, and there's 2 races going on up in the north. And of course, so half of those fans will have been torn, do I do biathlon or cross country? And they've headed across the border, some of them.
Yeah, and I think half of that half have said, where's it going to be warmest? And Ostersund nearly always wins that. It's pretty brutally cold, -12, -13 up in Ruka today. It was cold here yesterday, but much warmer today, which means the skis should glide pretty well. This is Arne Cleve of Norway heading out, and saw in the World Championships.
Доротея Вирар
she came into the season late last year, but she shot 2-2-2-2 in the individual. You cannot afford that sort of shooting. You need to shoot like Dorothea Vera.
Лиза Тереза Хаузер.
Not on her best form yesterday. 5 wins in her career.
9-й
And of
номер.
course, the mass start world champion in Pachuca a couple of years ago. When she's on form, she's very good, and I would suggest that even that start, although she's a tall, powerful figure, I think when she's on her best form, she's a little bit sharper with the tempo than we saw her leaving the stadium.
1,5 километра, получается.
So we'll see a lot of Justine today as she's in bib number 1. Follow her whole race, and she'll set the pace for most people.
10% of the race completed. Still got the shooting to do, of course, but 4:45. So anything around
Лиза
the 45
Витоци,
minute mark
11-й
would
номер.
be pretty sharp.
Лучшая в
Lisa
этой
Vitozzi,
дисциплине
little
в
bit of a cheer coming
прошлом
out of
году.
the Italian contingent
Сейчас
in
посмотрим,
the
как она
crowd here.
выступит. Ингрид Ландмарк
What
Тандервольд.
sort of shape is she
Первая
on?
отсечка
Breza
уже
Boucher, we know
проигрывает.
from yesterday, is in good shape. She was skiing very well. Anything within 5 seconds is okay, but I think Tandrevold is going to be 7-8.
8,8 секунд.
It is, and the tongue's already out, Patrick.
Слабо
You know, we see that
начала.
often when she's tired, the tongue comes out. I think it's involuntary. She doesn't necessarily know she's doing it. It certainly helps her and gives her a little bit of comfort. But yeah, 8 seconds down at this stage isn't looking good.
На стрельбу.
This is the individual, and if there's any race where
Все хочет сделать.
particularly plays
И не
a part, because
торопиться.
you have so little to gauge yourself against. This is
Анастасия Толмачева, Румыния.
Tolmacheva, starting number 13 for Romania. Ian, when you drew your bib number, did you look at the person in front or the person behind?
Доротея Верер,
of course, you have the luxury of being able to do both. You look all the way down the list and you usually pick someone just a place or two ahead of you that you think you're on par with, and pace yourself against them. And you know, if you've got a big name behind you, I never raced against Dorothy Vera, but I suspect if I did, I would have considered
Ванесса Фойт проигрывает 17 секунд. Очень много еще хуже.
To lose 30 seconds to one of the fastest skiers in the world and then use them as your pacer, that's pretty good strategy, and many of the
Франция пока лидирует на первых отсечках.
It always seems a little bit unfair on the athlete that is going fastest and is leading the train. And it's just like cycling. Now they ski so much faster than they did 20 years ago. That the slipstream effect is that much bigger. So the mass start races, it's pretty hard to break away.
Ханна Кебингер, Германия.
Kebinger now for Germany. We've already seen Vanessa Voigt. She started number 4. We're going to get the athletes through the range very shortly. Brézard Boucher of France, the first away. She's gone through the 2.5 kilometre mark and 5 times round the 3 kilometre loop to make up the 15k today. So it's only going to be a matter of seconds before Brézard Boucher takes her place on the firing point. Notten for Norway. And then we'll have Alina Stramous from Moldova. We've got Jean Monod of France starting 19, Minkinen of Finland starting number 20.
Итак, первая стрельба. С положения лёжа. То 4 стрельбы, промахиваться нельзя. Прибавляется 1 минута штрафа.
She shot 5 out of 5 in both prone and stand yesterday. That has to be a little bit of a confidence booster. Right to left, 5 out of 5, just what you want.
Первая стрельба чисто, Жюстин.
It wasn't rushed. That was really a typical and perfect individual shoot.
It was one good breath in between, 70% of the breath blown out, so you've got some air in the lungs, but not a great deal. Take your time, and the breathing becomes the pacing for each shot.
Now that was a long hold of breath before the first shot.
This is faster.
Чисто.
Well, that's a good shoot as well from Tandrevold, but Brézard Boucher had me feeling relaxed. Tandrevold, on the other hand, had me tense.
I agree.
And you know, it's funny, the body language, the way they shoot, the rhythm, but she's got away with it. She still comes out 7.8 behind, but going in, she was 7.2, so nothing really lost or gained there. No one's missed a target yet. It won't last, but if we get to the first 5, that would be excellent.
Very wide.
Маркета Давидова стартует 21 номер. На втором месте Лиза Витоцци после первой отсечки. 7,4. Ванесса Фойт стреляет. Ванесса Фойт чисто.
Good start from Vanessa Voigt. Looking at the ski time, 22 seconds given away on that first 3K lap. Hopefully it's pacing. There are plenty of athletes that will say 5 laps. I need to take the first 2 easy.
Yeah, I think if the leaders were both a little bit like Tandrevold, you would think, well, there's a possibility they're going too hard. But Justine Brézard doesn't look like she's in a rush. So 20 odd seconds at this stage.
Доротея Вирер, первая
Is
отсечка.
a long period, yeah.
Yeah, but having said that, when she came in to shoot, I was drawn by the fact that her breathing rate was so heavy.
Yeah. You could
Which
hear
means
it. Yeah.
she's certainly working hard compared to Tandrevold of Norway, who looked pretty much under control. This could only be Dorothea Vera. That little dip of the left shoulder.
16,5 Доротея проигрывает.
But the break of the core at the hips, always feel that's a source of losing a bit of the power
Анна
generation.
Магнуссон
So many of the
на
top
первой
skiers
стрельбе.
will keep the upper body pretty still. Now, Magnusson just go through the
Жюли Симон стартует под 25 номером, лидер прошлого зачета. Промах Анны Магнуссон. И Джуни Арниклев стреляет 2 промаха. Магнуссон.
In the individual race, just a minute added, and it's a very stiff penalty
Промах.
indeed. Anna Cleve gets her first penalty of the season.
Мажет Джуни Арниклев один раз
Not out of it
и
quite
теряет
yet.
надежды.
Generally, 1 or 2 shoot the perfect score.
Лиза Тереза подходит к стрельбе.
Last year in the first race of the season, the winner Hannah Erberg missed 1. Tandrevold actually shot 20 out of 20. Voigt of Germany shot 20 out of 20 to put herself up into 4th. And Lotte Lee, who races for Belgium, trains in Lillehammer. She's been a great shot over the last 3 years. Hauser, quite a high position.
Попала, но бежит очень медленно. Ужасно медленно, Лиза Тереза.
It's always the case with Hauser, isn't it, Patrick? You always, on her, when she's on a good day, you're left thinking.
Лиза
Difficult to catch,
Витоци.
it's hard for anyone to beat her, but those are rare. Those days are rare.
Yeah, I agree. Her peaks have been short and sharp. Lisa Vitozzi, first shoot for her. I think 19 out of 20 probably required if she's going to get on
Лиза
the podium
Витоци
today.
чисто,
That's a
ура.
good
Молодец,
start from her.
Лизочка.
A decent fast shoot. And Vitozzi, third fastest into the range in 9.5 or 9.5.
Второе место Лиза Витоци.
First athlete out has been the quickest so
Да,
far.
про нее.
And I'm wondering whether the fact that Brézard Boucher drew bib number 1 has just encouraged her to go a little bit harder than she normally would have done on that first lap. So
Yeah, Vitozzi, definitely one of my favorites for today. I think there was a
Маркета
look on
Давидова
her
подходит
face yesterday at the end of the
первой
relay where
отсечке.
she just, I think she was saying to herself, this is going to be a good week.
Let's hope so. Davidova goes for skate 2, a lot further than many. Now she switches into skate 1 and looks a little more fluent. It's just like changing gears in a car. I'm going to say skate 2 is like third gear. I'm going back to the old days when you only used to have 4.
Yeah.
Эльвира Омберг
Elvira Erberg
стартует.
starting just a minute and a half behind her sister Hannah, who is already 600 meters down the tracks, and
Dorothea
she'll be
Vera.
in roughly 5 or 6 minutes for her first shoot. Dorothea Vera, can she follow suit with her teammate Vitozzi? 2.2, 2.5,
Чисто,
So just
Дороtea.
that slight delay on the last shot, but good way to start. And remember, she's had 2 individual victories here in Östersund already in her career, and her first ever win coming here, which it was nice to hear her talking about that. And absolutely, that was the catalyst for Italian success since 2015.
Yep, she's a big star in Italy. Everyone wants to copy her.
Каролин Кноттен
Here comes
подходит к первой стрельбе.
Knotten Patrick. She has been in the unfortunate position for 2 or 3 years now of being that 5th person in the team. Too good to send away to the IBU Cup, but not good enough to make the race at every World Cup, which means you're on the bench a lot of the time, and so you don't perform or you don't improve. This is giving her an opportunity now, I think. Now that the bigger names have moved off, we may see her rise up through the ranks in the next 6 months or the next year or 2.
Yeah, it's always good to have a superstar in your team, but it's bizarre how often the rest of the team raise their performances once that superstar has stood aside. And I think the same happened in the French team when Martin Fourcade decided to retire. Certainly it happened in the Norwegian team when Oriana Bjorndalen eventually hung his skis up. And I wonder whether it's going to be the same in the Norwegian women's team. We will see. Good shooting from her.
Жюстин Браза. На второй стрельбе промах. Второй промах, стойка не удалась. 2 промаха, 2 минуты плюс к штрафу, хотя она могла победить. Шла на первом месте. Луиджи Мано подходит к стрельбе. Ингрид Тандревольд показывает стрельбу. Вторую стойка. Не выделили Макнет Джимано. Промах Тандревольд. Джимано чисто. Ингрид выцеливает. И промах. Ужасно, ужасно. Вторая стрельба у всех проходит просто ужасно. Ханоберг. Второе место после первой отсечки занимает, проигрывая 2,9 секунды. Маркета Давидова. Первая стрельба. Маркета чисто. Они сейчас будут занимать второе место. Маркета Давидова. Ванесса Фойкт, вторая стрельба, стойка. Если сейчас попадет, будет на первом месте. Потому что все ошибаются. Ванесса чисто и занимает первое место пока что.
That's a really solid start. So she's suddenly going to find herself in the lead.
What's interesting about Voigt is her game plan, looking ahead to the 2 faster athletes in front of her. She is a very solid.
Минута 22.
So she'll be interested in what they're doing in terms of ski speed and pacing herself against them.
Эльвира Оберг занимает первое место после первой отсечки. Разогналась.
Yeah, but a little bit rusty on getting the strap back on over the wrist. That's only a couple of seconds thrown away, but it could count at the end of the day. Here we go with the World Cup winner from last year, Julia Simon.
With cold hands.
Подходит к первой стрельбе.
Might be the strap issue as well. Big gloves. first shot away is so rapid with Simon.
Чисто. Джули Симон
Vera in terms of the time
на
and
лёжке.
solid start from Julie Simon.
Came
Coming
in
into the
11 seconds behind.
Какая из
Just under 5
старшая
seconds
или
behind.
младшая?
That's how much difference. Do that 4 times.
Монобронца
And you save a huge chunk of time in the whole
стартует.
race.
Mona Brusson drawing the attention of the crowd. Just a recap, after the first shoot, Brézard-Boucher, Davidova, Simon, Vitozzi, Tanrevold are the top 5.
Ханнауберг
7
подходит к
seconds
стрельбе.
separating them. We've still only had 6 athletes through the second shoot. Voigt and Steiner from Germany and Austria, respectively, have both gone 10 out of 10, so they find themselves in the lead. 18:08 the time. Hannah Erberg is someone who will want to challenge that, but she's yet to do her first 5. Now, have a listen to the crowd, because of all the athletes here, Hannah Erberg is the one that's going to draw the most attention. And I include her sister in that. Here we go.
Лиза Витоци на второй стрельбе.
The perfect start, and the fans loving that. Vitozzi now 3 out of 3 to make 8 out of 8 so
Давай,
far
Лизочка,
today.
пока.
9 out of 9.
Молодец, Лиза Витоци. Первое место.
Vera is still in it, having shot a good prone shoot. Hannah Erberg is definitely there. I think
Ханнауберг тоже чисто
Brézard-Boucher
отстрелял
has shot herself out of
первую
contention.
стрельбу.
Well, if Vitozzi keeps this up, she certainly
Витоци
has.
25 секунд в плюсе.
Look how relaxed she is. She knows she can ski fast without pushing the pace. And at this level, these athletes, they're not deciding to race on an intensity level of 7, 8 or 9. Is it 8.5 or 8.7? It's that fine-tuned, and you have
Эльвира
to get that right. A tiny
подходит к первой
margin can
стрельбе.
make the last loop of this race be where you lose all of your time.
Only one Swedish flag on the front page of the positions after the first shoot. Elvira Erberg, you would expect to join them. Fastest on the course for that first lap in a time of 7:48, 4 seconds quicker than Brézard-Boucher. My goodness. But 4 seconds doesn't compare to the minutes penalty that she gets for the miss. So work to do for Elvira Erberg, but she just laps up the information, sees herself go into 20th, 52 behind.
20 место только у Эльвира.
Who knows what she's looking for, but maybe looking for the position of her sister, who is right at the top of
Тильда
the table.
Йоханссон. Доротея Вирер.
Over the last 8 years, certainly has been the best standing shot. There's good and bad seasons. This could be a good one. Oh, it's so good to watch. 22.6. When she's in the flow, things seem to work. Once she has an element of doubt in her mind, things go wrong. And we've used this quote before, you know, if you think you can and you think you can't, you're right on both occasions.
Доротея Вира занимает второе
I think
место.
Dorothea Vera is in a good headspace at the moment. Maybe with the media work she's been doing, she's just a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, possibly gives her a good distraction.
There's the top 16 from the early stages. Vera, no option but to shoot clear today if she wants to win. I think Elvira Erberg will probably take close to 2 minutes out of the Italian. Vitozzi, on the other hand, is skiing pretty well. Coming into the range second time, Vitozzi only giving away 15 seconds. He's spoke about Knotten and this being her year of opportunity. So far, so good.
Лінперсон промах. Жюстін Брейза Буше на третій стрільбі.
Top right-hand corner of your screen. Remember, she started number 1, missed 2 on that first standing shoot, and Persson recovers well. Two seconds in between each shot, just like her first prone. Very, very neat. Another 5 in the next stand, and Brezar Boucher could be looking at a top 5, but I still think the win with those 2 mistakes is unlikely. But the wind is picking up a little bit, Ian. That could well be a factor.
It will be a factor if it gets any windier. Jean Monod, she's so relaxed, keeps both eyes open. That's one way of keeping things very simple. One miss.
Лампич. Анна-Мария Лампич стреляет.
Any idea how many athletes shoot with contact?
No.
Первый выстрел попала. Второй выстрел промах у Лампич. Третий выстрел мимо. Два промаха Лампич на Алёшке. Промах уже есть. Два промаха Маркета. Все шансы себе стерла этими промахами. Все.
Slowly but surely, some of the big names are falling by the wayside here in Östersund, and that's always quite encouraging for those who've started later. Certainly the big names that start late. I'm thinking, well, if we go down, Brawson started 43, so she will have seen quite a few results before she got underway. Lynn Persson is at 35. And the Erberg sisters starting 28 and 31. They're really in a very good position to see what their main rivals have done.
На третьей стрельбе.
Vanessa Voigt, 35 seconds.
Германия.
Lower, where is she? Just looking on here, coming into shoot 2. Yeah, 35 seconds. This is shoot 3, sorry. 35 seconds coming into shoot 2. She's skiing fast.
Solid. She's good. Yeah, really good shooting. And don't forget, she had a brilliant Olympic individual out in Beijing. Missed one on the first shoot, but went clear after that. 93-83, Voigt's shooting performances last year. That's pretty handy. She lives in Oberhof, so I think the pressure of competing at home in the world last year was a bit too much. But she's got world-class facilities to train on. Now, Julie Simon, clear so far, and coming in to shoot, she's 18 seconds down on the fastest. What a transformation. What a transformation. She said it took 2 years to relearn to shoot well. She was always average, but now she was up amongst the best. And it's a process that took 2 years, and that's quite hard to appreciate, isn't it, Ian? You know, most of us do work on something for a week and we expect a result. To commit 2 full years, that's really impressive.
It is, and you have to unlearn some things, because she was, I mean, average. In many ways she was good, but to go from good to great, you have to stop doing some things that give you good and start doing new things that can take you to great, and that does take time.
Sounding like a motivational speaker.
Steiner, Tamara.
I'm available for bar mitzvahs, birthdays and weddings.
Попала. Он проигрывает очень много.
I've got one coming up in less than 6 months. One of my daughters. I'm looking forward to Jemima's wedding. Anyway, back to the race. Forgive me.
Steiner, good clear shoot, but a lot of work to do on the skis. Let's just update you. After the second shoot, Vitozzi, Simon, Notten, Vera and Voigt are there. We're still waiting for Hannah Öberg to complete. Oh, there's the first miss. Her sister missed one in the first prone, and so the Swedes give an advantage to the Italians and the French and the Norwegians who've gone through the halfway stage without any mistakes. Vitozzi now, is she going back into top spot? She's actually 35 seconds quicker than Voigt coming in, but she still can't afford a miss if she wants to stay in the lead. A little bit slower this time.
Yep, no rush.
A 3.4, a 2.4, a 2.4, and a 2.4. Oh, frustration, a little smile on her face. Did you pick any mistake there, Ian?
I didn't. She wasn't doing anything wrong. I didn't see anything, and she wasn't rushing. And there was a smile on her face as if to say, well, you know, usually if you know you did something wrong, you don't smile. But if... I think she's probably thinking, okay, what's my strategy now? I am going to have to work hard to take the win.
Yeah, Hauser, despite going clear and having 15 out of 15, is still not going to catch.
Два промаха Эльвира.
She's given away, what, 123, and Hauser, after that third shoot, going up into third place. And Voigt leads, Vitozzi 21 behind, Hauser in 3, Brézard-Boucher with those 2 mistakes early on in 4, but we've only got 10 athletes through that third shoot so far. Chevalier with a miss, Chloé Chevalier-Boucher.
Yeah, big sister retired at the end of the season last year, so that's a great loss to the French team. That said, it's nothing like the loss that Norway have suffered.
Tilda Johansson.
Because the French have so many good up-and-coming athletes.
Brézard-Boucher still with the leading time after the first shoot. You can see it there of 8:48. Oh. Would have been within 30 seconds. As it is, she's 2.5 minutes outside, which in terms of distance is about, what, 950 meters. Disaster. Vera, yet to miss. Looking good, it's feeling good. It's vintage Vera, well done. That's a great start to her season. And she still has a little bit of time in hand. As we've said a number of times, Vera has to shoot clear if she wants to win. She was 43 seconds behind coming in. She goes out in top spot. How about that? Is she on her way to her third win here?
Yeah, hats off to Vera. We know she's not as quick as she used to be, but biathlon isn't only about going fast. And isn't it interesting, Patrick? You watch Vera shoot there, and she's not shooting quick for Vera, but for most people, that's still quick.
Заключительная стрельба. Justine Brézard.
We'll get you some shooting times in a moment, but let's just focus on Brézard-Boucher. Last shoot, she struggled a bit in the first stand. I wonder if the nerves have settled. 5 out of 5, and she has certainly got a chance of finishing in the top 5, possibly the podium. But we've got quite a few athletes who've already got 15 out of 15. There's the first miss.
Промах Буше. Второй промах Буше. Все шансы разбились. Стойка для нее.
Notten came into the third shoot in second place, just 23 seconds behind. Missed one, has gone out 44 seconds behind, down now into fourth place. So probably given away her chance of making the podium today.
Tony Vold, who has matched Brésard Boucher with the rifle so far today. Can she improve on the French athlete's performance? I always think she has such a solid position in the stand, and that is good. That's much more like what we saw last year. So Tandrevol is going into top place after the fourth shoot with 2 athletes through. We've got a field of 101, so a long, long way to go. There won't be any celebrations quite yet. Jean Monod with 4 out of 5. You do not want to be missing in the prone. Having said that, there are 1 or 2, probably 3 or 4% of the athletes who actually shoot better in the standing position than the prone.
Yeah, that's changed. I think one of the things we can see it here in the last decade has been the introduction of that hand position. You're allowed now to have a big chunky thing that underneath the stock that your hand can hold. And once that was introduced, it meant that you effectively had an extra 3 inches of forearm, which made it easier to shoot in the stand position, and that improved the overall standing shooting.
Well, Davidova trying to hang on in there, down in 13th place after the 3rd shoot. Vanessa Voigt now. Voigt in 2nd after the 3rd shoot. She's leading on the tracks and has the fastest time through 11.5. A 41-second advantage over Brésard Boucher. She's 1:13 ahead of Tandrevol. So I think she can afford to miss one and still come out with the lead. Facial expression for any signs of tension. Just a little touch.
Чисто Ванесса. Все нули. Но есть шанс занять какое-нибудь место. Со всеми нулями.
So Voigt will be already celebrating that achievement. Now she's got to raise her game. She's lost 6 seconds to Tandrevol on that last shoot, but the margin is still at 1:04. So when she crosses the line at the finish, she will take the lead and set the target time for everyone else. Julia Simon with her first miss. Simon 1.7 outside Vitozzi's time coming in. And shoots the same score as Vitozzi. Simon generally been a little bit quicker in the range than the Italian. Vera has the quickest time after 3 shoots, 27.14. Voigt is 2.7 down. Simon goes out, as you saw, 19.5 down. Vitozzi at 24. And Notten of Norway, really, really good run from her so far. Started 17, she's 44 seconds behind. So if Notten can clear all the targets on her last shoot, then she could be looking at a top 5, certainly top 10 come the end of the day. Estonia's Kuhn, 27-year-old from Tallinn, hit 85% in the prone last year. She's got 100% so far this season. Percentages, Ian, am I right in saying that anything around the 88% mark in either prone or stand is good, and anything over 90, absolutely exceptional come the end of the season?
If you can shoot like that, then the thing you have to just keep doing is believe in your shooting and work on your ski skills.
Лиза Витозzi, последняя стрельба.
Two greats in the range at the same time. Hannah Öberg for Sweden, 2 out of 2 so far for her. Vitozzi a little slow to get the first one down, but she's got it down and is working her way. She knows that a top 3 positions on the cards if she can clear all 5. 4 out of 4, 1 miss only so far for Vitozzi. The last one in that second prone, and she clears 5. So we've got a new race leader. There's only going to be 10 seconds or less than that. Might even be down to 4 or 5 seconds between the Italian and Voigt of Germany. So a real ski race out there on the tracks, and Vitozzi is going to need some support from her team. It's closer, 1.5 between the two leaders at the moment.
Now then, Patrick, if she wins today, then this is something that's quite special for Vitozzi. Let's just see how Elvira shoots, and I'll come back to that in a second. What a shame. No, not Oberg's day today. So Vitozzi, Patrick, if she wins today, having missed one, that's an extra feather in her cap, because then she starts to enter the realms of being one of those athletes that can win races, individual races, without having to shoot clean. If she beats Dorothy Vera today, and I think she will, I think she can out-ski her by a minute, then that will encourage her and tell her that she has risen to that new level of ability.
Yeah, it's going to be close though, because there was 24 seconds advantage to Vera after shoot number 3. Vera yet to shoot again. She started number 14. Vitozzi started 11, so she's got to be in pretty sharpish. Yeah, that's going to be tight. That's going to be very tight between those two. And Dorothea Vera with 15 out of 15 so far. We really have, we've had lots of sort of matchups over the years and great rivalries. But something of the quality of the battles between Vera and Vitozzi, not unheard of, but it's very rare, and it's a great pleasure to witness it. Who will it be today? Vera, the slower but the more reliable in the range. That's 8. There it goes. There's the mistake that costs her the win, costs her
второй промах, и все потеряла шансы на победу, все. Просто крах, просто крах.
Well, Dorothy Vera usually shoots so quick that it's hard to say that that was rushed, but I wonder what info she got, or maybe what she saw as she entered the stadium, because Vitozzi would have been leaving around about the time that Dorothy Vera was coming down the hill, and you can see an awful lot here. You can work out what's going on just by glancing around as you come down the hill, and you've got time to think.
Yeah, you know, if she looked at the leaderboard, she will have seen Vitozzi's name on the top of it, ahead of Voigt and Hauser after that 4th shoot. So you're absolutely right, it might have affected her. And from interviews we've done with winners in the past, they are aware they do get a long time to look at the board as they're coming down into the range. Tandrevold coming across the line, Brézard Boucher's time of 46.58, well beaten, 1:44 inside, and could well be a top 10 for Tandrevold. Nothing could be the best Norwegian on the day. 19 hits out of 20.
Каролин Кнотен может занять второе место.
Slightly later start for her. Silver medal in the World Championships, remember, shooting 20 out of 20. You've done it once. You believe you can do it again. That's a good start. So, 14 out of 15 for Persson. Solid enough if she can clear the last 5 in the stand position. Now, other names we're looking for before the final shoot.
Второй промах, кривонос.
What a shame. So difficult to live with a 2 on your last shoot, having shot 0-0-0 and been in contention, at least perhaps for a top 10 or decent World Cup points.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Vitozzi can celebrate quite yet. We've got Julie Simon. This is Jean Monod of France on her last shoot. Started 19. Simon started 25, so we're looking at 2.5 minutes before Julie Simon comes into the range. And if she shoots clear, I think she's going to be fairly close to that time of Vitozzi.
Второй промах Маркета. стойка, слабость для Маркеты.
She's looking tired. She is looking very, very tired. Vitozzi actually pulled away from Voigt in the early part of that loop. Here comes Voigt into the finish. If she's been strong over the last 600-700 meters, there is a chance she will stay top. A clear shoot, 59 inside Tandrevold, and a new leading time for Vanessa Voigt of Germany.
Fourth in the opening individual last year, just off the podium. She's probably going to improve on that, whether it's the first place, but she's going to get a medal today, you expect.
Julia Simon has been very, very quick in the range so far. She had the fastest range time on the second shoot, and of course that was in the stand position, and that is what she's got remaining.
Julia Simon с одним промахом пока что.
Here we go, moment of truth. Is it going to be a day for the French? Well, she's 20 seconds inside. It's going to have to be an exceptionally fast shoot. Can only afford to give away 10 seconds max to Vitozzi. It's over. It's over.
И все шансы себе разрушила. Все, Джули Симон. Второй промах. Все, это конец. Для нее конец, конечно же. 3 промаха. Все. Все. Она разрушила все. Ни о каком месте мечтать даже.
So Vitozzi has about 100 meters. 20 seconds.
We had that little mix-up earlier on, Ian, and you said why was Vitozzi...
Лиза Витоци. Первое место. Даже с одним промахом. Даже с одним промахом.
Having left the range, she had very little to spare, to be honest. So she's taken over 10 seconds off the German on that last loop. Great performance. So, a couple of things we do know. Vitozzi is going to be the best of the Italians. Vitozzi is going to beat the overall World Cup winner from last year. What we don't know is whether she's going to overhaul Hannah Erberg, will pick up on times.
Промах Ханна. Промах Сусан.
Another miss, and a total of 3 minutes added for Hannah Erberg, so her chance of a win has gone. It's been a great performance by Lisa Theresa Hauser. You know, only about 100 meters into the race, we picked up on her lack of speed, and that is evident throughout. But 20 out of 20, a minute and 7, into third place for now. Safe to say a top 10 guaranteed?
Surely, and she'll have an eye on the overall small crystal globe this year. Hauser, if she isn't on form throughout the year, to be on form on 3 occasions and shoot well can win you a very, very prestigious crystal trophy at the end of the season. It is only, I think, 3 individual races at this distance, including the short individual in Antholz. And so there's a big prize to shooting well and pacing well in this race.
So that's going to be 4 successive podium finishes in individual for Vitozzi. Of course, I'm presuming she stays in the top 3. If she does win today, that will be third, first,
Стиночка Нильсон подходит. Стиночка. Стина Нильсон. Покажите, пожалуйста, Стину Нильсон.
Stina Nielsen
Да блин!
seeing
Что
a
за
second
фигню
ago.
показываю?
Seeing
О,
the kind of
Стиночка.
summer she's had on the range. Formidable skier. Lost a little bit over the years as she switched to biathlon, understandably. Focusing on the shooting.
Стина промах. Стина второй промах. Да уж.
Not a good start.
Стина Нильсон два
Been
промаха,
struggling
к
in the
сожалению.
selection races, to be honest. Skiing okay, but not making a massive impression. And still, there will be those who give her a hard time. Dorothea Vera, her chance slipped away.
Дороthea
on
Vera
that
только
last shoot,
шестая.
2:32. So even with a 5 out of 5 in the last stand, she would have come in third place. But she'll be furious with herself. Not like her to miss 2 in 1 stand.
No. Naughton had a good day. This is starting to be a good season for Naughton. She's in a new era of her biathlon career where she's got an open road ahead of her and she doesn't have the frustration. I mean, there's a load of benefit to having the brilliant Tyrrell Eckhoff and Roisman around you, but you need them to move out of the way so you get to race, and I think that's one of the
Caroline
problems Stina Nielsen's going to
Naughton.
have in biathlon. She doesn't get to race often enough.
На втором, на третьем месте.
46.5 with 1 miss, so she is amongst those that should Vitozzi stay top of the pile can say, if I'd hit all of them, I would have won. And although it's a big if, it's also a really nice if, because you know you have the potential to win and you start to believe in your own ability to do so.
It is helpful. Yes, you're playing little games with the numbers, but it's still a fact. You know that if you had managed to shoot 0 that day, you would have won. And I think that's the point I'm making about Vitozzi now. If she wins today, having missed 1, well, it's difficult to do that. Or in the past, she knew she would have had to shot clear to win. Now she has a minute in hand, which there aren't many people that can do that.
Марта шел к Согану.
Lynn Persson already missed 1 target. For Sweden. Skogan with a solid 5 out of 5 to start.
Лин Парсон промах.
101 starters. Remember, the race getting underway at 11:20. Just started the last few. Ockenthaler.
Франциска Пройс. Подходит третий стрельбе с нулями. Все шансы еще есть.
Didn't race much. Would have been quite demoralizing. Got a start today, but put in the arguably the worst group, the back of the pack. No pressure on her, or little pressure compared to the rest of the German team.
Just trying to track Elvira
Франциска Пройс
we
чисто.
haven't seen a massive amount of her. We know she missed on the very first shoot, which put her down the
Лена Хаки
order.
Бройс.
It'll be Switzerland's top athlete coming across the line, Lena Heike Gross. That's an 18 out of 20. Solid start to the season, 2:15 behind. And she also will do the math and say, wow, would have been in the top 3 had I hit all 20. Here comes Julie Simon, and the shooting score tells the story. 0-0, things looking good. Then a blip on that second prone and a disaster on the second stand to incur 4 minutes of penalty. She'll be out of that finish area quicker than you can say it, and she's gone. Put it behind you.
That first miss, Patrick, when she missed in the stand, the first miss then influenced the rest of the shot, not just psychologically, but she didn't cock the rifle properly. That often happens when things go wrong. It snaps you out of your autopilot and you just don't quite open the bolt all the way, and you try and close it again before the empty case has jumped out of the chamber, and now there's no room for the new case to go in, and you jam, and then you have to stop and faff about. She ended up flicking that bullet onto the mat and not using it, and then having to load a separate one later on, and it just all went pear-shaped.
Yeah, just to update you on Elvira Erberg, she had missed 4 before the third shoot, and consequently a long way down the order. Not sure what happened on the 4th shoot. She missed another 2, so she's down in 32nd position. So her lack of wins in the individual go on. Hannah Erberg, who's had so much success here in Östersund, it's not her day today, but with 3 minutes penalty and a time of 2:32 outside the winner, she's going pretty well. Elvira Erberg, I still think, Ian, is going to have produced the quickest ski time.
Well, good for her. She won't be happy, though.
София Шнайдер может поменять,
So far from
если
Sophie
попадет.
Schneider. And she's the best of the Germans coming in. She's got a 2-second lead over her teammate Voigt.
Промах.
She heard you, Patrick.
Все себе испортила.
Frustrating, but it's, you know, it's still good. 19 out of 20 in the first individual of the season. I think she can take a lot of positives from that. Yes, she misses the opportunity to be the #1 German, but I think with this performance, we're going to see her in the team, probably in the relay next week.
Yeah, that's the coaches are going to have one eye on these results today for selecting the team for the relay. And Germany are looking good.
Marta
We haven't said
Johansson.
that for a while. I mean, really good, actually.
Yeah, we've got the women's relay on Wednesday, the men's on Thursday, Friday is the women's sprint, Saturday the men's sprint, and then on the Sunday we have a double header of the 2 pursuit races. So lots of racing to come from Östersund. A couple of days break after this, and then we'll be back in action on Wednesday. So really looking forward to that. Dawson, who's got a love-hate relationship with Östersund. She's had some great races, she's had some disasters.
Yeah, she won't think of this one as a great one, but it isn't bad, and she can take something away from it. She's still got another 2.5 kilometers to ski.
Johanna
Trying
Jacqueline.
to see who can challenge the top
Шестое
positions.
место.
Schneider has gone through the final shoot and missed. Anna Maka of Poland, who started number 60. She's had a great day so far. She's hit all 15. She's got 1 shoot to go. She's still within 30 seconds of the race leader. And Vitozzi, of course, with that 1-minute penalty, it could happen. It could happen. But remember, Vitozzi's miss came earlier on in the race. It came on the third shoot, so I don't think she's going to catch the
Посмотрим
Italian.
турнирную таблицу. Лиза Витоци, Ванесса Фойк,
Well challenge for a
Каролин
podium
Кнотен.
finish if she can clear the last five, which is
Такая тройка на
far
данный
easier said than
момент.
done. Julia Simon down there in 16th position at the moment with that 0-0-1-3. Reza Boucher also missing 4 targets on the day, so Ormot back in charge of the shooting in the French team. Obviously a little bit of rebuilding to do. Now here's Vitozzi. Just looking so smooth on the skis, taking in all the information up on the big screen.
Yeah, she believes she's number one.
Good start to the season. So in at this early stage, are you going to put some names in the hat for the overall this year?
Well, Vitozzi obviously has to be one of them, I think. I'm going to give you 2 names. One which is, I've already mentioned, Vitozzi, and then one just as an outsider who I think has a chance of coming through. And it hasn't been a good day for her today, but I'm going to write that off. And I'm just going to raise the name of Jean Monod as someone who we're going to see surprise us all over a very long, consistent season.
It'd be nice
ignoring today.
Yes, you've left some big names out there. I'm putting both Urberg sisters in just because I enjoy watching them compete against each other. I think Vitozzi is the only one of the Italians that's got a chance of winning the overall. I think Julia Simon is still there or thereabouts. She showed us some good ski speed today. A little bit of a meltdown on that last shoot, but I think she'll be there. And I can't really see anyone outside those 4 who's going to be consistent enough to win the overall title come the end of the season.
Well, isn't it interesting that ordinarily we would be able to name a handful of really solid potentials, but this year there's a gap, there's a little bit of a vacuum, and I think in those years sometimes you do see someone who is relatively new, a rising star who moves quickly up through the ranks, and you know, Vanessa Voigt could be one of those. She's not brand new, but she's probably consistent enough, if she's improved her ski strength over the summer, to remain near or at the top, a little bit like Mira has in recent years. Not the fastest on the snow, but good enough to consistently perform in the top 5 and win those big points. And remember, you can't let any races go this year. So 1 or 2 really bad races and suddenly your chances disappear. But let's face it, it's likely that everyone will have one of those. So by default, you all lose one race.
Let's focus on Preutz just for a second, because she's hit the first 15, didn't race yesterday, so some could argue that she's a little bit fresher. That's 17 out of 17, 18, here we go, 19 out of 19, down it goes. And Franziska Preutz, well, maybe she should have been mentioned in the earlier conversation. A 20 out of 20, she's got 17 seconds in hand, and Vitozzi, who will have been on the verge of celebrating, suddenly has to wait and see. 11 seconds to play with. But remember, Vitozzi had a minute added to her time, so if you take that away, Preutz so far on the course, 50 seconds slower. This is so crucially close. We would expect her to lose 10 seconds a lap, but we did notice that Vitozzi looked very tired over the last kilometre and a half.
She did, but she looked very tired at the very last hill, the top of the very last hill, I think, which means she may have used up all her energy in exactly the right place.
Wow, that is a tough one.
Чисто.
Team members out on the course. She'll get the split. She knows what she's got. The danger for me, Ian, is that she goes ballistic over the next kilometre and a half to try and hold on to that 11. If she does that, she might fade in the closing stages. But the way this course is designed, if you can get to 2 kilometres with a decent lead, most of the rest of the run is downhill.
Yeah, you're right. She may go way too hard earlier on, but she's not a young, immature athlete. She's got so much experience, and the pressure was off her today. So perhaps she's just been steadily beavering away, running her own race, and she's still got enough, you know, to save. We heard it from Johannes Tingnes Bow last year, didn't we? You have to save your energy for the last part of the race and not just use it up in the middle.
Here's Maka. Yeah. Been a good performance. Oh, there's the first miss from the pole.
What a
and
shame.
There goes her chance of getting into the top 3. It would have been a 25-second gap. She would have been in the hunt for a top 3. She would have been comfortably ahead of Naughton, who is currently 3rd in the finish area, 4th virtually when we take Preutz into account. Now, the next split is key. Well, this is a turn up for the books for the Germans, isn't it? Just what they need. Johansson with a 19 out of 20, that's a good performance. So the lesser-known Norwegians have performed well today. Johansson across the line.
7-е место.
Very good. Preutz really didn't have her best season last year, but if she can win today, that would be something special for her. Keeps her well outside the top 20, and that's a big margin when she's only missed 2, so there's a little bit of ski form to find. Pfeiffer is there in 34th, a relation of Aunt Pfeiffer. I think it's a second cousin. Close enough to be able to ring him up and get some advice. Now, how's she looking? Tempo has slowed a bit since the first 200 metres. We're going to get a split in around 30 seconds' time. Remember, she had 11 seconds clear coming out of the range. 11.8 was the margin. And if she can still be leading when she hits the top of the climb, it's advantage Germany and Franziska Preutz. Chloe Chevalier, a similar story. The French have been off target today. Another 3 misses. Julie Simon missing 4. Brézard Boucher missing 4. Well, while we watch the time of Preutz, let's have a chat with Voigt, who is currently sitting in 2nd position. Watch the splits.
Преимущество Франциски Пройс падает 5,5 секунд. Было 11 чем-то. Бесил Франциска Пройс. Без сил. Я думаю, она не дотянет. Такое чувство, что она не дотянет до победы.
even if she goes into the
Очень
last
слабо
500
идет.
meters level with the current leader Vitozzi, I think the advantage is still with the German because she knows exactly what she's got to do.
She does, and it's always misleading with Francesca Price. She looks like she's not moving quickly, but she's just a very
Rebecca
calm, very
Passler.
measured skier. And I'm surprised that she still has 5 seconds in hand because it didn't look to me like she was moving quickly enough.
Yeah, this is a Vitozzi lookalike, Rebecca Passler.
Мимо.
So I don't think we're watching a replay. Vitozzi incidentally missed one shot today and has been the quicker of the two leaders over the course, but if she had a slower loop, it was that last one, which is Germany's opportunity. This is the next split. 25 seconds in hand. Preuss coming round the bottom corner. She certainly seems to have raised her game a little bit into the skate too. This is dynamic skiing from Preuss. 14, it was 5.5 last time. We're into 10 seconds spare. She's got to be level as she comes round the top of this climb. Vitozzi watching the big screen in the stadium from 5 to 4 to 3.
2 секунды осталось. 2,2. Просто скорость падает на глазах. Просто скорость падает на глазах. У Франциски Пройс. Я думаю, не дотянет. До победы она не дотянет.
And some outstanding shooting from the German. 20 out of 20. Is she heading for victory here in Östersund to deny Vitozzi at the last? Skogan 5 out of 5 to make it 14 out of 15. Another new Norwegian name that has made an impression here in Sweden today. Let's focus on the finish. 2.2 in hand. 80% of the last 500 meters is downhill. Vitozzi can't take her eyes off the screen. 7 seconds to go. 60 meters remaining. Franziska Preuss going for the line. It's closer than a second. Which way's this one going? It's
Второе место, 0,1 секунда, 0,1 секунда проиграла. Проиграла 0,1 секунда. Это трэш, это трэш.
What a way to start the season. Well done to Preuss. Started late, fought hard, just missed out.
Look at that. Wasn't that tense? It was so tight. And Vitozzi is clearly so happy. I think Vitozzi owes Francesca Preuss. She should put her gear down and walk across and give her a big hug now, because that is really hard to live with. To lose by 1/100th of a second, is it 1/10th of a second? Doesn't matter. It's a tiny blink of an eye. And had just one extra push on the downhill might have made the difference. But Francesca Preuss is going to be thrilled with that result today, because she has had such a terrible 12 months or previous season that to be anywhere near the top of the field today, she would have been delighted. Look at that. She's like, oh well, never mind. Isn't that good?
Yeah, great pictures. Joy in the Italian team, obviously, with Vitozzi, and the same in the German team. A second place is absolutely outstanding.
Brilliant.
So the individual season starts with a victory for the Italians. The race is far from
Победа Италии. Лиза Витозzi победила.
44.03 from Vitozzi. And just looking, last time they raced here in, well, they raced here last year.
Да, не хватило. 0,1 секунду, потому что не надо было бежать, как черепаха тортила.
So we're a little bit slower than that. And last season, the first individual was up in Kontiolahti, where we did the double week. That, of course, was won by Hannah Erberg in 43.53. So just slightly slower today. But again, it's a 19 out of 20 that wins the day, as it was in the World Championships, as it was in the first individual last season. And second place looks as though it's going to go to someone who's shot the perfect score, and that is also what happened in the other events. So Ian, you don't have to shoot clear, but you've got to be on at least 95%.
Yeah, you don't have to.
We've had some excitement in the German camp. We're going to have some in the USA camp if Kelsey Joan Dickinson can hit all the targets.
Так, Диккинсон,
One shoot remaining.
США.
I think the best she can hope for is a top 20, but a top 20 for Dickinson would be a sensational start to her season. Well, let's have a chat with Lisa Vitozzi. We're trying to get her lined up, but we'll watch Dickinson's shoot first. First stand looked very, very solid indeed. Not bad, no. But she'll be frustrated with that first shot. So as promised, here is Lisa Vitozzi, the leader and highly probable winner here in Östersund. So a good way for Vitozzi to start her season. In terms of start number, number 11, she obviously went for group number 1. She's going to pick up it's only her 4th win, which is slightly surprising when you consider how many times she's finished in the top 5 of the overall World Cup standings.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Although you also tend to see that when someone has been super successful with not many wins, and then all the big guns retire, suddenly it's win the lottery time if you can hang on to your brilliant performance. I think there's just a confident smile about Vitozzi right now. She knows she's up for a really great season ahead, and yeah, obviously one of the 2 favourites to win. She's got to keep it together, though, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think the only worry, I don't have any concerns really about her ski speed. I think she's consistently fast compared to Vera. Vitozzi certainly isn't the fastest on the tour. My only concern is that she gets the yips when it comes to the prone shoot. You know, last season it was much better, occasional lapses, but the season prior to that she was missing 4 or 5 virtually every time she came in for the first shoot. It's an incredible turnaround. There's definitely a good book in there somewhere.
Стина Нильсон с 4 промахами.
Missed those shots, and she just had a look of disbelief. She didn't have a clue what was going wrong, really didn't know. Stina Nielsen came running down the hill in front of the stadium here, not wasting any time getting to the range, but she needs to
Промах. 3 промаха у Стины Нильсон.
This is just not going to work, Stina. You need to respect the shooting a little more than it would appear you are. So I'd love to see her do well, but no, it's...
Все, ребят, 1 место Лиза Витозzi, 2 Франциска Пройс, 3 Ванесса Фойт. Спасибо за просмотр, ставьте лайки и подписывайтесь на канал.